Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. I was coming out here to take one of my walks again, see what I'm gonna be able to do today. Feeling like I'm finally ready to try to put this old body to some challenges, I guess. Got my helper out here with me, and my wife, and the rest of them will be out here with me as soon as I'm ready. They're always ready when I'm ready. Sitting there idling, waiting, which is awesome. But I was doing what I don't know, sometimes it feels like a walk of shame when I sit and I think about, did I want this stuff, these old hot rods and the stuff before the Lord wanted me to have them, and this is why I can't get them done. Then I hate that they sit around, and I don't want to be that guy, them people that had all this stuff in their yard, and it, you just get older and older and your yard stays full of stuff, and I'm not going to be, because I'm not that person. I'm just an unfortunate state that everything's had to stop moving, and that's as well as my body, especially the last 2 years. But it ain't no big deal. It bothers me. But we keep things clean. Everybody helps me out. We take care of it. We're gonna get there. But I wanted to bring up something that aggravates me since I've gotten the shape I've been in, and noticing how the world's, what it's turning into, and how I worry about, I guess, our kids more than anything. Especially when I go to a parts store, and I go to a fast food restaurant, or I go somewhere just anywhere to get anything. I remember back, about all my life, since I, started trying to be somebody and trying to do better and learning, and especially when I started knowing anything, when I went in a parts store, my mind was good and fresh and on top of everything. There's no problems. But now, through pain, you stumble, and you I don't know, it's causing something, I guess, for forgetfulness, and you can't, all the words ain't there. I'm having some issues with, I guess, my mind, just a little slower like the rest of me, but that ain't no big deal. It'll all come back, it'll all be all right. But you go in there now, and you realize the kid or what have you behind that counter, if it ain't on that computer and it ain't on something that fully directs what you're talking about, there's a pause, and nobody can go anywhere. If it ain't on Google, nobody can go anywhere. Where there was a time in our history and in our, as we've grown and prospered as people, all walks of life, learning to have and do, when we fixed our own stuff or tried or dabbled at it before these phones and computers, and we could say, it was this switch I cut my blade on with, and when you had some direction, you had some thought pattern, and now I tell you, you could go in there with that back in the day, and they'd be like, oh yeah, this guy behind the counter would be like, yes, and they'd be 4 or 5 back there shouting, oh yeah, that's your your deck blade switch for a so-and-so, and they, it's like 5 people back there done dealt with it before, or their grandpa's lawnmower, somebody, it's always, I guess, so many people dealt and worked on stuff that everybody had taught themselves somewhere along the way, or told somebody about it, and we was all able to help each other. And and what I'm getting at is we all had gained some knowledge. Even our youth had, you know. And then by having that knowledge, they was able to take it to the workplace, whether it be AutoZone or any parts store, you know, Tractor Supply. You could walk in there with questions and people would have knowledge that wasn't in a computer, general knowledge, not something read out. And then they don't even, they just like, all they know is what they read. They don't even know what they're truly talking about. And that don't translate to a person. That can get aggravating. I'm noticing I can't go to a parts store hardly anymore and directly find lawnmower belts like I used to. Ace Hardware don't hardly. Ace Hardware in East Ridge, I don't know if you may have even noticed it, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to say it. You throw all this out there, but they don't even have a lawnmower section parts anymore. Well, I don't blame them. You know, they lost sales, stuff was sitting there stale, and that's what the guy told me. It had dust on it. And that's where nobody buys the stuff anymore. Nobody works on their stuff, you know, and it tears up. And which everything you buy now is junk, throw away. But you know, and I've narrowed things down to the stuff that I know we've had as I've been on my path. The vehicles I've tried to have. We got 6 vehicles we drive. And I know some people's like, oh, Lee, you got 6 cars you drive. Yeah, we do. And they're all old. I think our newest vehicle's a 2005 Suburban. But they're okay. You know, I'd call them nice. We keep them clean, you know, the best we can. And we keep them very roadworthy. And we got all the way back to a 98 or 96 Mazda or Honda Accord. All of it, you know, the air works, everything. We try to keep everything up to some standards because I was, you know, I used to be, and well, still am. I was a somewhat knowledgeable mechanic. And if I wasn't, I gained and reached out there. And I've always been mechanically inclined. I took stuff apart as a kid to figure out how it worked. Because some of you that know me and now, or anybody that's followed me or listened to anything or my live the other day, it's just part of who I am. Because of my learning disabilities, I knew I had to figure out a different path, and that was my hands and my body, and God give me a different route, and that's fine. But I always get off topic, and I apologize. But I try to give these as raw as I can without editing. Either way. It just troubles me because by us not, computers and cell phones and stuff are nice and awesome. I love them. I couldn't have made my life better. They've probably been some other way. I can't say that. My life got better when the cell phone come out because I was able to use it to write because I can't spell. I was able to, a lot of people, y'all be surprised by this later on if anybody watches it, especially people that's known me and seen my determination and knew how headstrong I used to be and how powered up I was in a business and work. I couldn't write, couldn't spell. And if any of you ever know when I sat in some meetings and in big meetings back in the day, and I had notes and I had stuff wrote down and I looked all professional, it took me 3 times harder to do so because I had to say it in my phone, and then I was set down somewhere doing paperwork and I was actually writing it out from my phone. But that's how I had figured out a different way to get knowledge, to look professional, and to not let everybody know that I was illiterate and wasn't the same as everybody else. Which didn't bother me. to me, that powered me up and said, I got a little bit more on everybody else, because they got all that, but yet I know the inner workings in and out of whatever I've been around throughout wherever I've been, especially y'all that know me. I'm gonna figure out how everything works, and then in some cases I've had engineers back in the day say, "Man, you ought to go to school to be an engineer, because that's a good idea." And if any of them ever see this, and y'all know the ones I'm talking about, some of them probably ain't alive, but I know 2 or 3 of them is, and I've seen them, and y'all know who I am without name gouging. And they was pretty sharp guys, and we was able to fix stuff back in the past. One of them, and I could appreciate it so much, but school wasn't I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get in there in the book situation. Hands on, I could. But back to way off point. We got to get more hands on. I don't know what's happened to us. It's so aggravating, and I feel so saddened for the folks that's worse than I am, and worse than I probably ever think about being. I think about that. I hurt for that. I hurt for a lot of things that I know I ain't supposed to. But I just hurt for people that can't, that go in somewhere and be like, I need this switch, and then they're bumbling and stumbling, and this, I've seen this. They say, well, what's it go to? And the old timer says, well, it goes to my lawnmower, and he's, it's I can't even remember what kind it is, or it's this, that, and the other, and I can't do nothing unless you got all, unless you got all this information. And the guy says, well, I just drove, 30 minutes or more to get here. Well, sir, you should have, and then he walks out of the store and everybody starts cutting up and thinking, what's he expect us to do? Expect us to know exactly what he's got by telling us to color the lawnmower and this, that, and blah, blah, blah. And, in my mind, I'm thinking, I remember a time where I knew people, and there's some cases I've been places where I've seen that happen, and I'm like, hey, that goes to, is it possibly this, that, and the other? And the guy's like, yeah, and I've been able to help. I doubt I can much anymore, a little bit, but it's just sad. Point, we have become so reliant on the phone, on electronics, and people need to see what they're doing to us. They're dumbing us down. Everybody thinks they're making us better. They're actually dumbing y'all down. Has something ever happens to any of this stuff? The ones that's going to be able to rise up is the ones that has been right here, that has knows what is. Some of y'all might not make sense. That knows what is and knows what's up, okay, and has been through it. Has scraped the bottom, been down there in the gallows. And talking about being trapped yesterday, I don't mean that in such a negative. It sounds negative. I mean it like in any way. People can be trapped in drug addiction. They can be trapped in all type of ways. And all it is you're trapped in decisions. Look at my old hair just whipping everywhere, breaking. It's broke and got all new growth. But I don't know. There's a lot of food for thought. I'm not going to sit here and be Debbie Downer, because there ain't no Debbie Downer. It's too good of a day. It's a beautiful day. There's people that way worse shape than I'm in. And I've been way down there where I've been talking about. So, I ain't nothing down about me. I just got to get through where this is now, and then we going to. It ain't no biggie. We just gotta ride the storm. Get through this where this old devil is picking at us. Boy, he's been on me 2 years. I'm gonna keep him under my feet, so that's where he belongs, and behind my back. And keep these kids happy. That's all that matters. Ain't that right, baby? Mm-hmm. It looks like you ready to hit that slip and slide.
Yeah, I am.
You ready to get your sissies out here too?
Yeah.
And then get in the pool?
Yep.
And then we go from there? Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to get this lawnmower. I got this far with Mama's help, and we plucked this out, and the deck ain't cutting off and on, as simple as that is. But, and then, we got about 4 riding lawnmowers, and, every one of them's got issue. Just go from one to the other. We keep 2 or 3 going, and one to tear up, we're able to jump on one and get on the other. We got 2 properties, and this is almost 2 acres we had to mow. We'd like to keep it mowed. Of course, I've told my wife here lately, I said, how about we just mow around the house and let the rest of it grow up, hide everything. But we ain't gonna do that. These girls want to keep it pretty the best they can. We might not be able to weed eat all the time and move all the cars, but we're gonna try to get some of these street rods for long and try to move forward on stuff best we can. Every day the Lord gives us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right now, I can tell this one is tired of hearing me babbling, and I don't want to get all take down no slow road and low road. So we're gonna move on. Maybe we'll take some pretty pictures and post them up throughout the day, hopefully. Something sweet. Maybe a few changes. And I don't know if any of this even matters, but I'm fixing to ship it out there, and if any of it gets to anything or means anything to anybody, throw me up a message, thumbs up, give me something back, some type of feedback. I need to know some of my people still left out there. I wonder here and there, just good people, just the people that knows where I'm coming from, the people that it's left behind to help us let this youth know we got to keep that past and that history of the good history, moving forward into all of our people. Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to push America forward. That's what's going to make, and I guess whatever they got going now want to make America great is to get back to that. Get back to them roots. And loving each other, no matter what blocks of life you're from. It's where your heart is, and how you care for each other. It don't matter about none of the rest of that crap. It's where you each other wants to go, and how each other wants to help get there. That's what ought to matter. Not any of the in-betweens. Get all that gray, no gray area. And then if we could do that, guys, we could go in and dominate a work area. Let it be a company, but we go in there together and boom that company together. Not just for the company. Do it for... I've done it. I've done it with some guys back in the day. And you see that company where it's got now. Man. And then what's bad to know what I know the men under me started it from. And when you know them roots, and when you used to see it, this stuff that you knew was so deep rooted, that you could be so proud of it when you seen this stuff you done outside the workplace, and people was proud of it. Oh, it was so awesome. Everybody used to talk about it. And then when we was kids, it's so good. I can't elaborate. I don't want to cause a problem. But now when you see it, you don't see many of it. And then there's reason. It's junk. It's all turned into junk. And it started with the people building it, the lack of pride and respect in each other, the lack of pride and respect translates right into the equipment, to whatever it is, and all the workplaces I've been in, and I've been in a few, I'm not nailing one down. And when you've seen that go away, but yet you still see some of that out there, that's something else. And then you see it so declined that it's barely existent. The world's getting there. Smell the coffee. I had some good coffee this morning. I did. This one normally makes my coffee. Mama made my coffee this morning. This one, she waits on me sometimes. It's unreal. And then my others do it too. I'm so spoiled. I am spoiled. I love it. So blessed.
I'd rather you be loved than hurt.
Yeah, well, it's the way we all should be. Guys, get out there and find your good day, your good moment, whatever it takes. Don't be trapped. It's up to us. It's up to you. It's in you. Let's do it. Let's get it.
And look at the positive side of everything.
That's
Don't look
it.
at the negative.
That's it. That's exactly it. All positive. Daddy is sweating profusely. All right. Love everyone. Y'all have a good day. Catch you later. We'll throw up some pictures.
Yeah, we will.